always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. If you just believe, 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 believe. Listen to your heart, 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 heart. Listen to your heart, 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 heart. Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. If you just believe, if you just believe, if you just believe, if you just believe.
Yes. Welcome back to another stream. It's been about a week since we streamed. I hope you enjoyed the couple of videos I made up at the Etihad during the week about Cancelo, Elise. Might talk about that actually. I did an Mbappe video up at the Etihad, so I hope you liked the little change of scenery. 8 people in the building. Do smash a like on it, all 8 of you if you would. Massively helps. We're going to talk transfers tonight as well. I want to talk about the Harry Kane situation. It's not one we've gone over a huge amount, but it is hugely interesting. Where will Harry Kane end up come the beginning of this season? We're going to talk Riyad Mahrez replacements from Man City. I know most of you are City fans, so I want you guys to get your comments in down below. Who would you like to see replace Riyad Mahrez? We're going to talk a bit about Kyle Walker. We're going to do what's going on. There's a bit more happening in the City world than there has been in recent weeks, so we're going to go over that. And like I said, I want to talk about Sir Harry Kane as well. 20 in the building. Smash a like if you would, please. Massively helps. And subscribe if you're new. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed the videos. Did you enjoy the Etihad videos, Joe?
Yeah, nice little change of scenery. It was quite nice. I mean, it's not something we've ever done before, but it's been in the works for a while. It's been an idea that's been floated around before.
Yeah, if you guys in the chat want more videos up at the Etihad, let me know. Big up Faisal in the chat. He says, Huey, Sané is needed. If Kane stays, that Tottenham attack is dangerous with Maddison in addition. Yeah, we're going to get into it. So Harry Kane, Joe, we'll start off with the non-City news, then we'll work our way into the sort of City news. So people in the chat, even if you're a City fan, let us know your thoughts on Harry Kane and what it means for him, what it means for Tottenham. Bayern, can they pull it off? Because it's an ever-growing saga. I feel like it's deja vu a little bit, Joe. I feel like it's a little bit deja vu. Big up Tyrone Douglas in the chat. Yes. Deja vu with Harry Kane, because a lot of what we're seeing right now with Harry Kane, I feel like I've seen before. I feel like, I've seen before. I feel like we made content on this before when he was linked with City. Did we? I think we did.
We will have done, because, I mean, everyone was convinced that it was going to get done.
Yeah. We would have been about. We were OGs in terms of the Kane transfer story. So Harry Kane to Bayern Munich, is this a possibility? The word is Tottenham want X amount. Bayern aren't willing to pay X amount. Bayern want to finalize the deal. I saw a tweet earlier on this afternoon. I have it up here. It's via Pleti Goal, who have 200. They're a Sky Sport reporter / moderator. So, it's Florian Plettenberg. My bad. I didn't even know that was him. Florian Plettenberg says Bayern want to finalize the transfer of Harry Kane in the next few days, probably tomorrow. Yo, why is no one talking about this? Florian Plettenberg saying they want to finalize this deal tomorrow. Can Bayern get Harry Kane? I don't think it'll be tomorrow, first of all, Plettenberg, with all due respect. But can they get this deal done? Wow. I mean, Joe, let's have a chat. What do you think?
Well, I mean, for one, I'm glad that it's not us doing this anymore, because I am sick and tired of dealing with Tottenham after we tried to go and get Harry Kane. My God, it is infuriating doing business with Daniel Levy. Power to Bayern for trying and making the attempt, but I'm so glad that it's not us having to worry about this, because it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. They were supposed to have a meeting to come and discuss Harry Kane, and then Daniel Levy went, "Nah, we're postponing that in it because I'm the one in charge here. We'll do it when I see fit." You know, trying to set power plays and all that. So it is a hard man to pin down, Daniel Levy, to try and get business done with. But I found the tweet that I was looking for just before, saying that this is from Rob Draper, who is the chief football writer of the Mail, saying that Bayern are likely to bid around £75 million, which they consider to be a huge price for a player who'll be a free agent. But Kane's valuation to Levy is 90 million, so there's a £15 million difference between the bid and what Daniel Levy wants. And we all know when Daniel Levy wants something, he doesn't accept below what he wants. He is a hard man to do business with. He will do everything within his power to get that £90 million. Like, it's not going to be easy. So I don't think it's going to be done tomorrow. I'll be surprised if it gets done tomorrow. I won't be surprised if it materializes and progresses and gets closer tomorrow, but I don't think it'll be done in the next few days. It's, Daniel Levy playing his usual hardball, trying to get all the cash he can, but I mean, all the power, all the negotiating power is really on Bayern's side and on Harry Kane's side, because he's a free agent. He's a free agent next summer, and we all know that usually brings the price down a bit. So it's not like Levy and Tottenham have a leg to stand on when it comes to negotiating. They can't really, set the parameters here. They're not the ones in charge. So I don't know. It's getting ugly. I mean, I hope he joins Bayern. I really do hope he joins Bayern, because I mean, it's better for us that when we get to play Tottenham, who we notoriously struggle against, there's no Harry Kane. It makes it easier for us. It means that, if I'm talking slightly selfishly, I can take him out my FPL team and I get more cash to go spend it in other places. That'd be quite nice. But he's also a player, just in terms of his career and how good he is far too good to go trophyless. He needs to win something in his career. He can't have the Audi Cup, and I think he won the Lions Trophy or the Lions Cup or whatever when they were playing in, I think it was Singapore, their pre-season. Like, that can't be his resume. He's just silver medals and pre-season trophies. He has to win something. He's too good not to. So for his sake, I hope he moves. I hope he gets it done.
Who's in the chat? Yeah, Faisal says Tottenham and Napoli are two teams you don't want to do business with. I firmly agree. First of all, I firmly agree. If you're trying to negotiate with Tottenham and Napoli, it's like beating a dead horse. You're really, really going to struggle. But you said there's a 15 million difference between Tottenham's valuation and what Bayern are willing to offer. Bayern are doing my tits in with this situation. They really are. Bayern are really, really annoying me with this, because if you want him and you want a player of Harry Kane's caliber, why are you allowing 15 million, squabbling over 15 million to Bayern is nothing, to stall it or to prolong the saga? They should press the button, sign the check. Here's the 15 million you want. Bob's your uncle. We have a new striker. Like, what Harry Kane would add to Bayern Munich from City's perspective, once again, in terms of Champions League, it's frightening. It's frightening. They go from being, a relative challenger for the Champions League to all of a sudden they're one of the top two favourites. Ourselves and Bayern Munich become the out-and-out favourites, in my opinion, ahead of Real Madrid. Inject Harry Kane's 25, 30 guaranteed goals a season in the league, whatever he gets in the Champions League. Like, you think about it. Harry Kane at Bayern Munich with Kimmich, Coman, Sané, Gnabry, Musiala, all these bad boys. He's going to score goals. He's going to score. Is Oliver Kahn still the president of Bayern Munich? I believe he is.
Did he not was he not one of the ones who was sacked at the end of the season?
Well, if he is, get your finger out, mate. And if he's not, whoever it is, get your finger out, mate, because it's an absolute no-brainer. And you're right, man. For Harry Kane, he's so good. He's so, so good. And he must be thinking about this saga right now and comparing it to his previous saga with City and saying, I should have pushed harder for that City deal. I should have pushed my way out the Tottenham door, because right now I would be a two-time Premier League winner, a Champions League winner. I'd be a part of a historic treble. I think we'd still have won what we did with Harry Kane. I think that's fair to say. Harry Kane would have helped us win exactly what we did anyway. He's probably the only other player in the world that's not Haaland that I could say would have helped us get to what we did anyway. So he needs to say at this point, we're 2 years down the line, time's ticking. He turned 32 days ago. Mate, go and get your trophies. Go and get your goddamn medals. You cannot finish at Tottenham, brother. The Tiger Cup is not good enough. You're a multiple-time Golden Boot winner. You're England's captain. And you want to finish with a Tiger Cup? Brother. Man. He got sacked. Oh, he got sacked, Oliver Kahn. Fair enough. But you know what I'm saying about Harry Kane, chat? He needs to go win trophies. I've made this argument before, and I've kind of gone back on myself on it that maybe the potential to win a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup with Tottenham means more to him than winning 3 Bundesligas with Bayern Munich. Fuck that. I've decided to throw that out the window. You need to go win silverware, real silverware. Go and slap up the German league. Go and slap up the German cup competitions, and you've got a serious crack at Champions League. You know what I mean? Tottenham ain't going to win no league anytime soon, in my opinion. You know, I've got time for Ange chat. You know I like Ange Postecoglou. He ain't no miracle worker, right? Good manager, not a miracle worker. They ain't going to win a Champions League. They ain't going to win a Premier League. So he stays at Tottenham. He's winning sweet football or maybe a League Cup. Even more of a maybe an FA Cup. He could just finish with an Audi Cup and a Tiger Cup. Go to Bayern, force your way out, and get your trophies. Because for me, the ship has sailed as regards to a Premier League transfer. You missed your opportunity with Man City. Levy ain't going to sell you, brother, to Man United. He ain't going to do that. He wants, 100 mil from Bayern Munich. He'll tell Glazers 130 mil, 140 mil. Levy will not swallow his pride and allow Harry Kane to go to another Premier League club. I tell you that for a fact. That's why he made it so difficult for us to sign him. We had the cash, didn't we? We slapped down cash. We were like, look, we're willing to break our record. We're willing to break the Premier League record for transfers to get Harry Kane. And Levy was like, nah, I want more, I want more, I want more. He did everything he could to put off Harry Kane going to Man City, another Premier League club. And he'll do it again for Man United. I have no doubt in my mind, chat, that Levy's thought process is try and survive this window, hold on to Harry Kane, and we'll somehow convince him to sign a new contract. But he has to be wary, man. He has to be wary that by January, Kane can go and negotiate a pre-contract. So he's essentially got 6 months, or not even 6 months. He's got September, October, November, December. He's got 4 months to try and persuade Harry Kane to sign a new contract. That's a lot of pressure on the club. It's a lot of pressure on Ange to get the ball rolling quickly at Tottenham to prove to Harry Kane it's worth signing a new contract. And for me, the boat's already sailed. 26 in the building. Please do smash a like if you would. Massively helps. I find the Harry Kane thing really interesting. The same way I find the Mbappe thing really interesting, because we're talking about 2 different players here with 2 different trajectories. We know Mbappe is probably going to be successful wherever he goes. He goes to Real Madrid, he's going to be successful. Stays at PSG, he's going to run the French league. Goes to Saudi Arabia. Fuck knows. I actually don't know. But with Harry Kane, it's sink or swim. We're talking about your legacy here at this point. We're not talking about the next stage of your development. We're talking about your legacy, mate. We're talking about what people will talk about when your name comes up when you're retired. Harry Kane. Oh, he scored loads of goals for Tottenham. Yeah, good player, him. No. You don't want that, my friend. You want Harry Kane. Bayern Munich. 3-4 Bundesligas. Decent. Champions League. Oh, yeah. This guy was a bad boy. This guy was a bad boy. You know what I mean, Joe?
I don't know what you mean. And he's probably damaged his, post-playing career reputation just by staying as long as he has. Because even if he does go off to Bayern and win 3-4 Bundesligas in the Champions League, you're still looking at it and going, it was only 3 or 4 Bundesliga titles at Bayern. Bayern are usually winning the Bundesliga. The Champions League's nice, but it's not like a Premier League, or it's not like 8 Bundesliga titles or however many. So he's still to the detriment of his legacy, essentially, stayed at Tottenham till he's 30. That still sticks with him. He's made that decision. You say sink or swim. He decided to try and swim and ended up sinking. That's essentially what's happened to this point. And now it's a stumbling block where he's getting cold feet again, to the point of he's seriously considering jumping ship for real this time. Although there is the small issue of he still might not put in an official transfer request. That is the one thing that stopped him from becoming a City player. He refused to essentially ditch Tottenham and maybe harm his reputation with the Tottenham fan base and put in an official transfer request to Daniel Levy. He said, no, if it happens, it happens. I'll just wait, because it might happen anyway. He refused to put in a transfer request. An official, I want out of here, get me out of here. So, he might just have to kick up his feet. Harry Kane might have to just go, listen, I want off. You're going to have to sell me. I'm not signing a new contract. Put me up for sale. Tell the world I'm out here. I'm out here. I'm officially looking for a new club because he has to leave. He can't stay at Tottenham. He cannot just be. He can't go down in football history as just. He scored loads of goals. He scored a fuck ton of goals. He's the Premier League's highest goal scorer ever, and that's it. That's all he's got for his career. He scored loads of goals. He didn't win anything, but he scored a lot of goals. That's terrible for a player of his caliber to say that that is what he's going to be remembered as.
Mad Hatter, we're going to get onto the City transfer topic very soon, so stick about for that and keep smashing the likes, people, if you would. But this, if it happens attitude for Harry Kane, it's going to be his downfall. He needs to be willing to burn some bridges. I get it. I get it's much easier said than done to burn bridges with like your fan, the Tottenham fans. But he needs to be willing to accept the fact that if he wants genuine success and a real CV, a real legacy, he's going to have to step on a few toes. He's going to have to upset a few people. That's just bottom line. You know what I mean? I think there is a lot of Tottenham fans I speak to, there's a lot of them who are actually quite rational. And they say, you know what, I get it. He needs to go and win. He needs to go and win. And I don't think Harry realizes that. I think Kane needs to understand that there's a lot of Tottenham fans are kind of like, you know what, we don't want to see you go, but we get it. He needs to kick up a fuss for Levy. He needs to basically bully Levy and stop being a little bitch. You know what I mean? Because in that City transfer saga, he was a bitch. Everyone knew he wanted to come to City. It was public knowledge he wanted to come to City. He was dying to come to City, but he wasn't willing to press the eject button. He wasn't willing to press the destruction button and cause a real problem. If you really want to come and get success, go into your boardroom at Tottenham and tell Levy, listen, mate, here's my transfer request. I ain't training. Make my transfer happen. Thank you for everything, but I gotta go, brother. I gotta go, Baldy. Because he didn't do that. Now it's now or never. You either tell Levy, I'm going to Munich, my flight's booked. You better make it happen. Or else you settle for mediocrity. It is mediocrity. Fantastic goal scorer, but you're not going to be remembered as a true great. You're not going to be remembered as a legend. Even Alan Shearer won a Premier League with Blackburn. He even has that. I don't care if Kane breaks Shearer's record. You need medals. You need trophies. Go and get some medals. 3 Bundesligas is way better than finishing your career with nothing. I mean, in Germany, he could be somewhat of an icon, a hero. At Bayern Munich, if he was to bring the Champions League back to Munich. You know what I mean, man? This guy's pissing me off now, Harry Kane. I like him as a player. I would have loved him at City. But that ship sailed. We have Haaland now. So for him, he needs to move, man. So my bottom line is with this. We're saying there's some meetings tomorrow. We're expecting a breakthrough tomorrow. If there's no breakthrough, Kane needs to stomp into Levy's office and say, what the fuck? I need to go. Stop being a tight prick. Let me go. He needs to kick up a fuss. Bottom line, man, Harry Kane. Go get your medals, man. Go get your medals. I'm telling you, you add him into Bayern's team, they become Champions League favourites or second favourites. Off the bat, they're one of 2 favourites. Because they already have a fantastic team. Throw his goals in there. They don't have a striker. Throw his goals in there. They're scary. They're a scary team. I don't want to face Bayern with Harry Kane. It's like throwing Haaland into our team. They have all the creators. They just don't have the finisher. Harry Kane. That's why it's pissing me off that Bayern aren't willing to be like, yeah, here you go, Levy. Here's that extra 15. It's like a battle of 2 people who are penny pinching. Levy wants to squeeze as much money as he can out of Bayern, and Bayern want to prevent spending as much money as possible. Listen, 36 in the building. Smash a like, subscribe if you're new about here. We're going to move on to City now, because the Harry Kane thing, we'll probably have a bigger update on Harry Kane tomorrow. So me and Joe will probably go live tomorrow night, or I'll make a video on it, talking about the Harry Kane situation. Anyway, Riyad Mahrez chat. Riyad Mahrez has left Manchester City. We've lost a lot of goals. We've lost a lot of experience. We've lost a lot of quality. Riyad Mahrez, one of the most consistent goal-scoring wingers in world football for 5, 6, 7 years, if you include his Leicester time, and he's now gone. In terms of right-wing players, Man City are left with maybe Phil Foden, who Pep's already said is going to be more of a midfielder. We're left with Bernardo Silva, who, was unbelievable last season, but He likes to play in midfield too. And then you've got Cole Palmer, who I'm not quite ready to give the reins of you're now one of the main players in this team to. Where do we turn to? I think we need to go and sign someone. We've been linked with Danny Olmo. We've been linked with Rafinha. We've been linked with Michael Olise. Anybody else? No, I think that's it for now. But none of those names really jump at me. I get them, but they don't jump at me. So where are you with this one?
Yeah, all over the place. I don't know what's going on, and I'm scared. I'm if I'm going to be completely honest, I am really starting to get a little bit concerned with the situation, because I had my agenda, as I do have many agendas. As the people know, I do have my many agendas. But I also, at the same time, I'm gutted he's left. I'm gutted that Mahrez has decided to leave, because it's just, there wasn't even, though the market is saturated, we know that. But even if the market wasn't saturated, he is a difficult man to replace. Just too difficult to replace. He's a 10-goal, 10-assist per season on the regular winger who, doesn't even start week in, week out. That is the level that he was at. And you're not replacing that. It's going to be so difficult. Probably impossible, given the options that are available. So I'm gutted he's left, but it is what it is. He wanted to leave. We managed to get 30 million for him, which is not the worst price in the world for, given all the circumstances. I know he signed a new contract recently, but it was only for another, 2 years on top of what he already had. He was in his 30s. It seemed like his head was sort of in his head. He wanted to go because he wasn't, the first name on the team sheet, and he wanted to maybe move on, because he'd completed football. He really had completed English football. He's a multi-time Premier League winner. He's won a domestic clean sweep. He's won a treble. He's won Premier League Player of the Season. He'd completed English football. Completed it. He'd won everything, even the individual stuff. So to him, his job here was done. He was essentially satisfied with what he was done and ready to move on. So I understand it, but at the same time, again, I'm gutted. But we have to move on. We have to sign someone, in my opinion, because I don't trust what we have at the club. I don't trust Cole Palmer to take that responsibility. It's too big of a step up, especially after last season. He was fairly disappointing, although he didn't really get a look in. He didn't really get a look in that position either. So I'd like to see a loan happen there. You look at pre-season, Oscar Bob. I've liked what I've seen, but I think it's a step too far to even throw him in as well. I just think it's too much. We're in a situation now where it's too much to have too many development players, if you get what I mean. Too many players who are going to take maybe a year or two to blossom and to really shine in this system. We have a lot of players who are in their prime, coming towards the end of their prime, or just about to hit their prime. We've just won a treble. We need to maximise the winning window. So I wouldn't really be trusting Cole Palmer or Oscar Bob, even between the two of those, to really take up what Mahrez gave us. So I think we need to sign someone. But then you look at, who is there? There really isn't anyone. I like the idea of Olise, but I think he's in a similar situation. He's a bit more developed because he's had the Premier League experience. He's done a couple of years, but he's still a very raw talent. He's still far from the finished product. And you'd expect, like most forward players, apart from Haaland, our attacking and creative signings, they've always taken a year. Grealish took a year, Mahrez took a year. Bernardo Silva took a year, Mahrez took a year. They'll take that 12-month bedding in process. And if you take that with Olise, he will probably take the same 12-month process. And again, he's just younger. He's a project player. So it's not like the best fit. He has his injury concerns. He's not really a goal-scoring winger because he has a pretty bad goal record. I think his assist-wise is all right, but in terms of just pure numbers output from goals, it's not great. And then you look past that and you go, well, what is there? Everybody keeps saying Sane, but I don't think it's a realistic target. I'd love it. Genuinely, I would be all for Leroy Sane, but I don't think it's a realistic target to suggest. I don't think something like that is is on the cards because Pep has gone on. Well, Sam Lee has gone on record before to say Pep doesn't want that type of winger anymore. He wants those, midfield wingers. He wants those controllers in the wide areas. So I don't know where we go. I I think Jack Gordon was saying either today or yesterday that we've been trying to sign a winger. We've been trying to find one, but we just can't. Just can't find a player that's out there.
The options are few and far between, and like I said, you can't go out and replace Riyad Mahrez's goals. You can't. It's not going to happen unless we go and get an Mbappe or a Vinicius who are goal machines in their own right. We're not replacing Riyad Mahrez's goals, so we kind of have to take the L on that front and work with that and try and use that in our strategy for recruiting a replacement. So my thought process is we're going to have to go down to a different type of winger and try and find, yes, a winger who maybe we can grow and develop into being a goal scorer or someone who can offer us goals. But initially, they'll at the very least facilitate our already clinical players. Your De Bruyne's, Haaland's, even Foden, I'm expecting to be clinical. Alvarez, I think an Olise would help our goal scorers, but he ain't going to get anywhere near Mahrez numbers, at least anytime soon. Olise has 4 goals in the last 2 seasons. You know what I mean? That's pretty appalling in isolation, but we know he's a very creative player and he's still very raw and young with development to do. I think under Pep Guardiola, Olise could become somewhat of a fantastic winger, but he's quite a way off the mark for the minute. With Cole Palmer, I like Cole Palmer. I do, but I'm nowhere near ready to give him the reins of being one of the main men. I think he has a lot of adjusting to do to his game. I think he has all the attributes required to be a top winger. I just think he's still underdeveloped in the sense that when I do see him play, it's like he's trying too much. He's too eager. He's too desperate to catch your eye, to do something outstanding, like, beating players when he should be recycling, or trying to beat players when he should be recycling, shooting when he should be recycling, doing things you don't need to do that, mate, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Just chill out, keep the ball moving, like the way James McAtee did. I see some people saying James McAtee wasn't impressive. James McAtee was impressive. Why? Because he came in, pours of football, did his thing, dropped into spaces, kept the ball moving, nice and simple. Whereas Cole Palmer feels like he's almost like he's on trial. He needs to come in and start blowing our minds and doing things that are not necessary. So once Cole Palmer adjusts his approach to his game time and just goes, right, I can chill out. I'm not in a rush here. I'm still young. Let me just play what Pep wants me to do and let it take its course. I think Cole Palmer will be just fine. But he's got quite a way to go before he gets there. So we need a replacement. We need someone to come in right now who will at the very least offer consistent chance creation, consistent assists, and chip in with, I'd like to think, 5-6 goals for anybody who comes in right now. Even if we get Olise, I'd like to think he's getting 5-6 goals this coming season, at least, purely on the basis that you're playing for Man City and you have better players around you. I ain't gonna do a Theo Baker right now, but you know what I mean. You throw me in there, I'd like to think, as a number 9. No, I'm not gonna do that right now. Barcola, PSG negotiations broke down. Yeah, I don't know. We haven't been linked with him. I'm just talking about players that we're linked with. Do you know what I mean? Rafinha has essentially turned us down, supposedly. He wants to stay in La Liga. He wants to stay at Barcelona. Good, yeah. I'm not arsed about Rafinha. Dani Olmo, I mean, Sane. We keep coming back to Sane. Everyone keeps talking about Sane. I would love Sane. I would love him. I think on the right-hand side, he could play the way we play. I think on the left-hand side, he is that more, grass-burning winger, direct running, head down, beat the fullback. On the right-hand side, based off what I saw in the Champions League games we had against them, I think he can do the more, touch, move, pass the ball, chance creation, pours of football that Pep likes. I would love it. But unfortunately, there is no links. There's no links. So it's more of a dream than, something we can actually talk about as a reality, is Leroy Sané. Lost up Sané dreaming. That's what I'm saying, P. Elder. His attitude was a problem. I don't know about his attitude, man. I think that's a bit of a myth, if you ask me. I think he's just like that. Mahrez was a bit like that. You know what I mean? Mahrez wasn't the most warm character, but he was a terrific footballer, and we loved him for what he did in the pitch. Same with Sterling. Sterling wasn't the most affectionate. He wasn't the most chest pumping, badge kissing type player, but terrific when he was on form, Raheem Sterling. So that's just personality. And we saw Pep and Sané the other day when we played them. I thought they were having a falling out, but then they were hugging and high-fiving at one stage as well. So I don't think there's any bad relationship there, but there's no point even talking about Sané, because as it stands, there's no point. We know we would like him. We know he'd probably do very well. He knows Pep. He knows a lot of the players. But it ain't happening as it stands. So we may as well not talk about him. So I don't know. Genuinely, chat. I'd love to come onto this stream chat and say to you, here is a list of 5 players Man City should choose from, all of which I think would do a great job. I don't got that for you. I'm actually here because I want to see what... There's 32 in the building, smash it like. I want to see what you guys have to say, because Dani Olmo doesn't particularly bother me. Rafinha, no. Elise, I'd get behind it, but I'm not... The hairs on the back of my neck aren't standing up for Elise, do you know what I mean? I'm not getting a buzz off Elise signing, but I get it. And I'd get behind it. I'd say, right, we could be onto something here, but we don't have enough time to be like, oh, we could be onto something. We need someone who's going to come in now and impact now and fill some of the void that Mahrez left behind. I mean, you think of the amount of goals we scored last season. Gundogan and Mahrez contributed to quite a number of those goals in all competitions, both of them. And we've just lost both of them. We're hoping Kovacic comes good and fills some of that void in terms of goals. Finishing in Kovacic's strong point. We're hoping he improves on that. Mahrez, what? You know what I mean? Phil Foden, midfield. He will be clinical. I believe Phil Foden will be clinical. Bernardo, right wing, maybe. He was clinical in the Champions League, but he's not naturally a clinical player, Bernardo, is he? We need a goal-scoring winger. You know what I mean, Joe? It's actually quite messy.
It's troubling. It's troubling. It's the more and more you think about it, the more and more you go around it in your head and buzz around all these ideas of potential options and this player, that player, and yeah, but this and that. The more you start to worry, the more you start to go, are we actually going to sign anyone? And that's kind of the stage where I'm at, where I'm genuinely sat here thinking, I don't know if we're actually going to sign one. I don't know whether we're going to sign a winger. I couldn't tell you because I
Do you know
can't.
what I'm hoping for, Joe? Do you know what I'm hoping
for?
for? What I'm hoping is City do what City do and find another Alvarez type player, another Gabriel Jesus type player that no one's really ever heard of, but City have done their homework. You know what I mean? And City know that this kid's coming in or this player's coming in from South America to be a gem. Because there's no player on my radar in English football or European football that I go, that's our guy. I'm hoping that City, who we pay people the big bucks to do this kind of stuff, have a list of like South Americans, Asians, Africans, whatever, Americans who haven't got that big exposure yet. You know what I mean? They haven't had their breakthrough yet, but they're a serious talent. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I can't really sit here and go, well, I don't know who's on the radar and then tell you that I'm completely happy with the situation and tell you that I'm completely, I'm satisfied that we will find a replacement. I can't go and say that I can't name a concrete link, a concrete interest and say that, we will find, like, reassure people that we will find someone. Because right now I'm at the stage where I don't know. I'm a bit worried because, our season, regardless of whether you want to say, I view it as like a kind of friendly anyway, but our season starts on Sunday. Vardiol's not over the line. We are not even close to signing a winger of any kind. Young, old, experienced, inexperienced, someone we've never heard of, someone we all have heard of. We're not close to any of that, and our season starts on Sunday. We kind of banged this drum of, the transfer window's still open for a while, which is. It's still got about a month left. I don't think it closes till the end of August. But that doesn't matter because by then we're like 3 games into the Premier League season. Our season has started by that point. We need someone now. We need someone in like the next week or two, because our season's going to start. And then by that point, you're like, you got to concentrate on your season. You can't. The one thing I don't want to do, which we have done before, is we normally struggle at the start of the Premier League season. Our strongest point is at the end of the season. I don't want to have that added distraction of Pep and the players going, is there anyone going to come in? Is there anyone who's going to come and challenge me for my place? Are we going to sign anyone? I don't want Pep to be, having to go into games going, what about this player that Tiki said? And I don't want none of that. I want all of our business to be sorted before we start the season. I want to minimalise any distractions so we can just get on with football.
Whereas Keiki says, I am Guardiola, I think he's gone to Girona, isn't he? On loan or something like that, Keiki, or there's no real plan for him right now. But, I mean, look, I'm not one to criticise the board too often. I'm not even doing it right now because they do a fantastic job more often than not. But all I'm saying is, in my own personal, uneducated opinion, in terms of football business, I think we're light in depth. We saw last season how Foden's injured, you can bring in Mahrez. De Bruyne is injured, you can put in Bernardo or Gundo. Depth is so important. And not just depth in terms of numbers. You have anybody in the squad list. Depth and experience. Players who know how to get over the finish line. Gundogan and Mahrez knew how to get over the finish line. They knew how to see a campaign out and win it. We need players who know what they're doing. That's why we can't rely on McAtee. We can't rely on Palmer. And that's not to say they're bad footballers. I think they're both going to grow into being terrific footballers. But for what we need in the right here, right now, we need to go out and get some experience. I want another experienced midfielder and I want another experienced winger. If we're going to play in 5-6 competitions this season, Premier League, Champions League, Club World Cup, Carabao, FA Cup, that's 6. We need depth. And I'm not, once again, please don't take me up as negative Nancy here and I'm criticizing left, right, and center because there's still time to do this. I just don't want to see a situation whereby we're in a really crucial stage of the season and 2-3 of our more experienced players, say De Bruyne, Foden, and Bernardo, they're all carrying a knock. They're all injured or out for a little while. And we're going, damn, we've got a Champions League tie coming up. None of these guys are available. No, we know, chat. We know depth is so important. Hugh, thoughts on a guy like Ziyech for the bench? I don't know if he'd suit us.
Where's that shout come from? Are we at that point now where we're just accepting fate? We're just in the bargaining phase of just bring me someone.
I mean, Charlotte says we signed a Kanji late last year with no links a day before and it worked out. So maybe something similar will happen. I agree, Charlotte. I trust this board. I trust Tiki to get it right. I do. I fully back them to get it right. But I want to see some signs soon. I just want to see what direction we're going. I want a bit of an idea of what kind of players we're looking at. Even if it is someone we've never heard of. I'll go and watch their compilations. I'll go and watch their transfer marked. I'll go and chat to fans who support that club and see what they're saying. I just want to know that we are active. Do you know what I mean? That we're on the case. That we're not going, we'll get Vardiol. That's just sorted. We'll get Vardiol. We've lost Gundo. We've lost Mahrez. We'll work it out in future windows. I'm buzzing we won the treble. Best year of my life. But my hunger's still there. I still want City to get success. I believe we could win a 4th Premier League in a row. I believe we could win a 2nd Champions League. Why not? Why not? We have Pep Guardiola, but you got to give Pep his tools. If you want the manager to be successful, you got to give him his tools. A workman can't work without the tools he needs. Do you know what I mean? You got to give him what he needs, and he'll give us what we want. I believe the board will do it. I believe Tiki. I believe Khaldoon. I believe Omar, Barada, Fran Soriano. I believe they're talking about this right now. Trust me, I do. I back them. But it needs to be done. I'll be a bit concerned if the window slams shut and we haven't brought in more experience. It's great to give Palmer and McAtee opportunities this season, but at the right times, 2-0 up, bring on one of them. Carabao Cup, give them a chance. But not if we're going to Old Trafford, not if we're going to the Bernabeu, not if we're going to the Emirates. That's where you want lads who know what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? Who know how to... when we went to the Emirates in February, we beat them 3-1. All the players in that pitch, we bullied Arsenal. We absolutely bullied them because we were like, nah, we know how to do this. You don't know how to do this. Remember, Arsenal shit the bed. Remember, Kev pushed Mikel Arteta on the sideline. We went down there and we were like, we're winners. We know how to do this. You don't. And that's what stood to us. That's why we believed we would win the league even when we were 8 points behind, because we were like, we have the experience. Nobody else has experience like us right now. And now we've lost two of the key components in that experience in Gundo and Bernardo. So go and replace it. You're not going to replace the level of experience they have, but you have to go some of the distance and try and make it happen. We'll only judge this window when it closes, but so far a little short of senior players. Need 2-3 players to bulk the squad up. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm here for Elise. I get it. I'm open to it. But it doesn't get me going, yeah, this is the one. This is the right one. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Any more suggestions?
It's a bit sticky because you just mentioned the whole Arsenal thing and going with experienced players. Contrast that to today's pre-season game against Bayern Munich in one whole wave of like the entire outfield team changing, bar I think 2 players in the end. I think they stayed on, and someone else I don't remember. But just compare it to that. We went from a front 3 against Atletico Madrid today in pre-season of Grealish, Haaland, Foden to Sergio Gomez, Julian Alvarez, and Oscar Bob. That is terrifying that we are a week away from the season starting and our backup front 3 is a failed left back, Oscar Bob, who's never kicked a ball in Premier League football, in senior football, and Julian Alvarez, who I like. I like Julian Alvarez as a player, but it's not enough. And then you go further back from that. We went from having Bernardo Silva and Rodri. We went to McT, Kovacic, and Calvin Phillips. It's not like it's not like great, is it, to look at your bench and then look at who've we got to bring on to change this game? You know, say we need a goal. I know Pep doesn't like making subs all the time, but say we need a goal in a game. You look at your bench. You've got Julian Alvarez. That's great. That's fantastic. Get another, lethal. Get a bagsman on the pitch. Who else have we got? James McAtee, Cole Palmer.
I want to reiterate though. I want to reiterate though, Joe. I do like Gomez more than I used to. I do love Alvarez. I think he's got a great future. I do like Oscar Bob. I think he's got a great future. But if you tell me that they are going to be like the backups, or they're going to be who are going to play if there's injuries, like, chat, you have to remember we are not immune to injury crisis. Injury crisis can strike, but we are in a position right now where we can prepare for it by giving ourselves sufficient backup in quality, depth, and experience. I don't want to see a situation whereby we're plagued with injury at some stage, because it will happen at some point. And we go, damn, we really should have brought in 1 or 2 more in that window. Listen, there's over 50 in the building. Please, if you would do me a massive favor and hit the like button, it really does help us find a bigger audience and get more people to join the community. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Massively appreciate all of your support. But you know what I mean? It's one that frustrates me. I think people have this perception that we have massive depth, and I hate that line people run. City have 2 11s that could win the Premier League. We don't. We have a number of great players who can play different positions. But take out 2 or 3 of those great players that can play different positions, you're not left with a skeleton of a squad, but you're left with not what you would like, if you get me. Jimmy Grimble in the chat, big up Jimmy Grimble. Hugh, who would be your first choice right wing that would get you really excited? Damn, Jimmy, you have me here.
It's a shame on the timing, because there was a certain Argentinian winger who was a free agent, which would have been nice in theory, but unfortunately we still had Mahrez at the time, so we couldn't exactly do that one. And he was also like 37 and probably not everyone's cup of tea.
ID says we missed out on Nkunku big time. I'll tell you what, man, Nkunku would cook. Nkunku would cook at City. He's clinical. He is clinical. I know his stats aren't like boom through the roof type vibe, but at City, with the chances he'd get, Nkunku would cook. He's a bit injury prone, but put that aside. He would absolutely slam. I only ask because I'm struggling myself. I know, Jimmy, man. Jimmy, I know. I'm struggling myself. Honestly, you can see by my reaction. If you gave me like £10 billion and said, go get who you want, obviously I'm going to go by, my dream would be Vinicius. I would love Vinicius. I would love Valverde. I'd love Vinicius. I'd love Valverde. Because I think Valverde would be sick for City because he's versatile. He's like Bernardo in that sense. Right wing, right side midfield. He could do both. Vinicius would be my absolute dream. ID said, yeah, he's a bagsman. And Nkunku is a bagsman. Like, if in the City team, he will be. But you know what I mean, chat? I think most of you agree with me, and I hope you do, that I think we're just a little light. We're like we're 2 players light, in my opinion. And I want to keep reiterating, I don't just mean any two players. Experience. Kingsley Coman. I love him. I would love Kingsley Coman. He is a sick player. I think Pep would love him. But it's not realistic, is it? Like, Bayern ain't letting him.
I don't know whether Pep would love him. He's a grass burning winger. He's a grass burning winger. He's just.
He's technically brilliant, Joe. He's technically brilliant.
I don't think he. I'll put it this way. I don't think he'd be his first choice because his biggest strength is his pace, which is something that. I don't know why Pep's made this. I don't know whether it's just because Haaland just isn't great at link up, so he's like, yeah, just stick these technically brilliant footballers around him. But it's like it limits your options when your manager. It's what he wants, and of course we should get him what he wants, and it works. We won a treble with it. But you do limit your options by basically putting it out there that, you don't want a winger whose main threat is running in behind. It limits your options because that is probably like the majority of wingers nowadays is players with a lot of pace. Like you look at the best of the best, like Vinicius. Like technically sound, would work, would be able to do all the ball retention and stuff, but his main thing is running in behind, cutting inside. Like that is Vinicius.
Yeah, but my rebuttal to that is I think Coman is one of those players Pep could turn into what he wants. Like he's one of those few grass burning wingers I think Pep could turn into what he wants, like he did with Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish at Aston Villa was he was the epitome of get the ball, head down, I'm gone, I'm running, I'm gone, I've legged it, that type player. Do you know what I mean? He was on his own, solo mission. But Pep brought him in because he saw the technical ability and said, you ain't doing that anymore. You can do a bit of it, but you're now playing my way. I am the captain now. I think Pep could do that with Kingsley Coman. And I think he could do it with Sané. I think he could do it with Valverde. I think he could do it with Vinicius. We ain't getting Vinicius. We probably ain't getting Valverde. We ain't getting Coman. Someone says in the chat here, I'll read it out. Seen reports of City reports of City not just talking about Walker with Bayern, hope it's Sané, winger is priority. Interesting. We're all hoping, Rachel, that Sané is involved in some capacity. I think we all are. But there's just nothing to suggest it, Rachel. There's just nothing to suggest that Sané is even talked about in our boardroom or in Bayern's for sale list. Like there's nothing to suggest that it's possibly on. Diaby's another miss. He's gone to Aston Villa, I think he's gone to. Moussa Diaby.
Yeah.
Coman's quite versatile. Exactly. All these players I've named, probably bar Vinicius, Valverde, Coman, Sané, they're all versatile, which is why I think they will all work. I'm kind of coming to a conclusion here now, Sané, Coman, Vinicius, and Valverde. They would be the four. Any of those four I'd be happy with. But they ain't realistic. Chat. You gotta look at the facts. What I would expect, though, is over the next week, City boardroom will go ham. I would expect this. City boardroom will go ham. Mahrez is gone. Need a replacement. Boom, boom, boom. Get your pen and paper out. Get your thinking cap on, Tiki, because time's at the essence, brother. Neymar. Tell you what now, Ben Yedder. Neymar ain't coming to Manchester City.
I'm sick of Neymar as well. It's like Harry Kane. I'm sick of Neymar. It happens like every summer. It was like Messi, where it was like Neymar's close to him, his representatives are meeting, and oh my god, it was infuriating. Jesus Christ, I'm so past it at this point.
People in the chat saying Pavard. I assume you mean the Walker kind of talk that's going on. I think it is Pavard. I think if Walker leaves, we'll get in Benjamin Pavard. That's my vibe. I just have a feeling that all those Bayern attackers are close to untouchable. They just signed Gnabry to a new deal, untouchable. Coman, I think he's just untouchable anyway. Sané, I don't know about untouchable, but I think it's a difficult maneuver. I really think Adama Traore. I am Guardiola. You're mocking him, mate. Adama Traore.
He said Sarabia before. His two mentions have been Pablo Sarabia and Adama Traore, both of which have played for Wolves.
Lauren says it won't be talks for Kimmich or Sané. No chance. I'd love Joshua Kimmich, Lauren. I would love him, Lauren. I think he would. You know what I said? I don't just want anybody's for depth. I want experience and quality. to fill the void that Gundo's left behind. That is Kimmich. Give me the checkbook and say, Hugh, you are now Sheikh Hugh. You buy who you want. I'm getting Kimmich. Kimmich is the man. He's the man. Versatile. Right back. CDM. 8. He would slam in this team. But untouchable, in my opinion. I just think he's one of those players. Bayern, nah, no one's having him. And listen, to go way back to the beginning of the stream, trying to negotiate with Bayern for one of their big boys, it don't happen often. How often do Bayern lose one of their best players in their prime? Name the last one.
Lewandowski, but I think he went for free.
He went in his prime. And he wanted to go too.
Yeah, I mean, Kimmich would be like it. We said on City Extra, which is wild to say but we said on City Extra, Kovacic fits like a glove. Kimmich would fit like a glove. Imagine him. Let's say because he's versatile enough. He came through, broke into senior football. He's basically Philip Lahm. He broke into senior football as a fullback. Him in that inverted fullback role, yes. Him covering for Rodri, yes. You know what I mean? There's so many things that you can do with Kimmich. If we were to sign him, he can fill in multiple different roles.
We get Kimmich, it means the end for Calvin Phillips anyway. Like, you can forget Calvin Phillips, but I'll do it. If you tell me we'll get Kimmich now, but you got to message Calvin Phillips or FaceTime him and say, sorry, Calv, you're gone. I'm doing it. Joshua Kimmich is a bad boy. Now, I have an interesting proposition here. Aaron the Brit has come in with a name that caught my eye for about 10 minutes this morning, and I would like you to look up his transfer mark and tell me his stats. Carrasco, Atletico Madrid.
Oh, that is stinky. Ugh.
He's tricky, man. He's tricky.
Ugh, that is horrible.
He's tricky. Carrasco, why? Because he scored against us in pre-season. I just think he looks like one of the, I don't know enough about Carrasco. I saw him for half an hour this morning, and I was like, oh, he's quite good.
Do you even know
I'm
how...
at a point now, people, where I don't know. I'm at my wit's end.
Do you even know how old he is or anything? Do you know anything about him?
Enlighten me, Joe. Give me the rundown.
Well, here's your rundown. He's 29 years of age, which is experience. He'll be 30 in the start of September, so he's 30 next month, pretty much. And he has a grand total of 420 senior appearances across multiple leagues and competitions. 91 goals.
That ain't bad.
85 assists. Over 420 games.
Oi, chat. Do your thing. Chat to me. Carrasco.
No. I mean, his contract runs out in 2024, so his market value is only 25 million euros.
Oi, Carrasco for 25 million euros. Joe, do a poll. Carrasco for 25 million euros.
I'll do a poll, but I am firmly siding with no.
He's a left wing. I know he's a left wing, but you know what I mean. Too old, man. He's 29. We just signed Kovacic, who's 29. Carrasco. I'm not saying I'm on board with it. I'm just saying. Let's have a think about it. Let's be adults about this, chat. Let's be adults about this. No, Lamau.
You are getting ripped.
Nah, G, like I said, Hugh, I'm struggling myself. Nah, mate.
He speaks for himself. His views do not represent mine. I say no.
Nah, it's not that much of a... I didn't say get him, and it's not that much of a stinker. Chat, we're all stuck for options here. I'm just spitballing. Here. I'm shooting into the dark and seeing will anything stick. Because we ain't getting Valverde, Coman, Sané, or Vinicius. We gotta lower our expectations.
I'm not lowering my expectations. I'm not lowering my expectations to Carrasco. I think that's a bit low. He was playing in China a few years ago. All
right. Forget Carrasco. Could be a decent cheap option for 20. Charlotte is speaking rationally here. She's thinking on what I was trying to say. Fine. Forget Carrasco. I would be brutal at this job of transfers, by the way.
Yeah, if you want me to delve deeper into Carrasco, give a bit more context, which doesn't help your case, by the way, but I will give more context.
It's not my case, Joe. Man. Stop pretending I'm a Carrasco fanboy.
Okay. But I'm still going to read it. In 195 La Liga appearances, he has 37 total goals.
That's not appalling. It's really not appalling.
And 32 assists. So he has roughly 70 goal involvements in 195 games. About 200 games, give or take. He ran it.
That's not bad, man. That's really not that bad. It's really not that bad.
In La Liga, for Atletico Madrid, who were notoriously defensive. But
yeah.
I think he's... You know what? I'm almost certain he for the national team, I've seen him play this role, and I'm almost certain I've seen him play for Atletico Madrid. He's played as like a left wing back because they're weird, like a left midfielder, left wing back type of role, which is just so odd. And again, he is a left-hand sided player, so who knows how he'd do on the right.
He's a baller. I'll give him that. He's very skillful. He's cold. Would rather take a risk on Chiesa as a cheaper option. Chiesa, man, I haven't really heard of that guy since he
done his ACL.
He cooked at the Euro. Since he does it, yeah, I know he does ACL after the Euros, but I don't know if I'd be willing to take a punt on him. Cancelo,
good God,
Carrasco.
no.
Carrasco, is it getting this bad? Listen, BF123, I don't know.
Yes, it is getting this bad.
It is getting this bad. It is. I'm out of options. Anyway, we'll park the winger talk for the minute because we're kind of at a dead end. We spoke about players that we would like. I came up with 4, all of which, as it stands right now, are unattainable. Valverde, Vinicius, Coman, Sané. I would take any of those 4. Unattainable, unacquirable. Nope. Close the door. Nico Williams. Nope. Kyle Walker. Speaking of Bayern Munich, I'm sick of Bayern Munich, man. Go and buy Harry Kane. Leave us alone for Kyle Walker. And give us Sané.
Take Cancelo off our hands, please. Take him on a permanent. My God. Do something.
Yeah. Right, Kyle Walker. Apparently it has they have found a stalemate in the negotiations Walker, Man City and Bayern Munich. So it seems off. Stalemate to me is off. As it stands, Kyle Walker, who has captained us 3 games in a row in preseason, will be with us for another season. Joe, good news.
Happy days. I mean, I don't think we should entertain a bid unless it is substantial. I would rather, and I have said before on a previous live stream, I would rather keep him for another year and let him go for free. I'd rather do that than fight over 15, 20 million. Pointless. It's pointless. Because that's just another player you have to replace. And we're not going to get a replacement that's like him because there's no other player in world football that is like him. He has 2 unique attributes, which is a great defensive brain and incredible speed. Most fullbacks nowadays have one or the other, where they're good defensively or they're really, really quick. I've seen shouts of Hakimi, to which I say he's quick, but he's not really defensive. He's more of an up and down fullback, which we do not do. We don't do that anymore. So that's a no on that front. You look at Pavard, he's a more defensive option. He's not got like the lightning pace of a Kyle Walker, which not many players do. But then, there's your sort of drawback to him. Although it would be fairly easy to get a Pavard deal done. If, we're negotiating with Bayern over Walker, you just kind of do this sort of weird swap deal, almost like we did with Cancelo and Danilo, where it's a swap deal, but it's not a swap deal. You know what I mean? Where you both pay for the player and, FFP rule bending and all that, because we are cheats. So something along those lines. So I'm happy with keeping him. Because we mentioned Gundogan and Mahrez going. Kyle Walker is another experienced player who I don't want to lose because for one, we've already lost enough experience, but for 2, he's just too good to lose. Like, he fits, tactically, he fits in the system. Even though he's not a centre-back and we do this 4 centre-back thing, he still fits just because of his profile. So I'm still happy with keeping him because he's got a lot more to give. He's an athlete. He can still go for a few more years. So I'm still hoping we manage to tie him down to a contract extension Because I'd like to stay in for more than just this next coming season. I would like to see another maybe 2 or 3 years.
Did you study English literature in uni?
No, of course I didn't.
Well, Faisal thinks you did.
Why? Because I talk a lot. Interesting.
No, because you're very articulate.
Am I?
Joe's a smart boy.
I'll tell you a funny story, actually. I failed my English GCSE. I failed my English exam.
Well, there's a plot twist for you, Faisal. W's in the chat for Joe, man. He's smart. Smart Joe. But no, well, Kyle Walker, yeah, I think Kyle Walker's going to stay, and I think he's going to sign a new contract. I think we'll give him another 2-year deal. He's the kind of guy who can play till he's 38, 39 because he's so athletic. He'll lose a bit of his speed, and he'll go back to being a right-sided centre-half. So I think it's good keeping Kyle Walker. You know, he's a leader. I keep banging on here to you guys about how much I want experience, people who know how to get over the line. It's so paramount. It's important as hell to have experience. Kyle Walker is that. He's farming trophies. What is it? 5 Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues, FA Cups. He's everything, man. He's like Mahrez. He's done the whole lot. So keeping Kyle Walker is good business for me. Someone said Alphonso Davies because he wants to be a winger again. I think I'd pass on that for now. As a fullback, I'd have him, but no, I don't think he's technically good enough to be a winger. Yeah, Walker is a must keep. Akanji and Aka are quick, but not as quick as Walker, so needs speed in the back line. Well, that's just it, man. I mean, if we draw Real Madrid or PSG in the Champions League again next season, I would still want Kyle Walker up against Vinicius or Mbappe. Still, even at 33 years old, or whatever he'll be then, 33, 34, I'd still want Kyle Walker on that job because he's still more than capable, and he did it this season. He's done it every season now for 3 or 4 years against usually the fastest winger in the world. So Kyle Walker, he's the man, and I think keeping him is the right idea. Pedro Gonçalves at Sporting can play left and right wing. See, Osama, this is what I want. I want people to come in with names that I've never heard of, that I can look into, look at their stats, look at their compilations, and make my own judgment. Erasma, excuse me. Big up you. I like these suggestions. I like these more obscure suggestions that I've never heard of, but this is what we need because me and Joe, we've come to a dead end in terms of winger replacements. I am more on the side of Walker staying on Inside City on their YouTube in Japan. He was buzzing, asking if there was a trophy. Said lifting trophies is what he has been waiting for. Maybe he'll be captain this season. He's captained already 3 times, but I think it'll be Kevin. Pammy, if anyone else is allowed to leave without a replacement, you might as well call it a fire sale. This is concerning now. I can't lie. I wouldn't call it a fire sale, but I'd definitely say it needs attention. You know what I mean? It needs attention to what exactly you're losing and how exactly you replace it. I can't say it enough, Pammy. When you lose Gundo, you lose Mahrez, and potentially you lose Kyle Walker too. Think of the amount of experience you're losing there. There's about 15, 16 Premier Leagues between them. That's outrageous. You can't do that at once. I heard they want 80 million for that Pedro guy. That's expensive.
No.
Well, the thing is, man, anybody we go for, the selling club is going to roast us because we're City. We have loads of cash. The club knows we want a player of that position, so they're going to go right. Pay 80. Yeah. What? He's worth 50, but you'll pay 80 because you're City. That's just the fact of the matter. It's just happened to Man United. They've just paid 75 million euros for a 20-year-old striker from Atalanta who scored 8 goals last season. Why? Because everyone knows United are stupid as fuck with their money and that they have the money. That's the bottom line.
And his name sounded like Haaland.
Yeah, well, there's that too. There's that. We go to Sporting Lisbon, right, and get this guy. Let me get his name up again.
Pedro Gonçalves or Gonçalves. I don't know how you pronounce it. I have heard of it.
Pedro Gonçalves, right? We go and try to get him off Sporting Lisbon. Sporting Lisbon go, oh, right, you're in the market for a winger. We go, yeah. Go, oh, you're Tiki from Man City, aren't you? He goes, yeah. And they go, oh, you're pretty rich, aren't you, Mr. Bergerstein? And he goes, I am. They go, 80 M's. And Tiki goes, well, and Tiki goes, but he's realistically worth about 30, 40, 80 M's. And we go, fuck. That's kind of where we're at. You know what I mean? So we have to be smart. We can't allow ourselves either to build a name for being a club that does just pay the stupid cash that whatever club wants. Like, I don't want to be known as like Man United, who, yeah, you want 80 million for Maguire? Boom. Let me sign the check. Avram Glazer. Boom. You want 75 million euro for this guy that sounds like Haaland. That's why we're buying him. Boom. 75 million euros. There you go. You don't want to build a name for yourself for being like that. And City are pretty good at avoiding that because we usually walk away from deals that we don't want to pay that amount for. So you get my point, people. Hugh studied Portuguese literature. You got me. Portuguese. Portuguese.
Where'd you learn that one?
Duolingo, yeah, sponsor us. Anyways, chat, I think I'm going to wrap it up there anyways.
That point from Mad Hatter, I wanted to make that point when you were going on about Pedro Goncalves there. The longer we wait, the more money selling teams will demand. I mean, the more players that we're linked to and the more desperate we get, the more cash it's going to cost us. So I hope to God we pull something out soon.
Yeah, well, that exactly, Mad Hatter. That's another big point. The later we leave it, the more millions are racking up on top of that price. If we were to go in for anybody. Pet Merchant, Chelsea confident of completing the signing of Michael Olise, says Graham Bailey.
Well, we just lost an option. Jesus Christ.
Man, Chelsea just need to fuck off. Honestly. Stop signing wingers. Fucking hell, Todd. What is it with this guy who bought Chelsea last year and his obsession with wingers? Save some for the rest of us, mate. They've got a mad amount of wingers. You signed Nkunku. Breaking Chelsea, Olise to Chelsea is close, according to Graham Bailey. Oh, yeah. That can't be ours, mate.
Oh, for goodness sake. It's nice when he lost it.
Yeah, okay, well, forget Olise. He's mid anyway, never rated him. Are Chelsea going for a team of wingers? Yeah, seems to be, Jimmy Grimble. Listen, we'll be back tomorrow. I'll either do a video or else myself and Joe will go live in the evening. So subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Hit the like. I've really enjoyed chatting to all of you people who've been consistent in the chat. Pet Merchant, PL there, Jimmy Grimble, Charlotte's been there, Matt Hatter's been there, Faisal's been there, Ben Yetter, I'm Guardiola, PF, ID, Pammy, Rachel, Erasma, Tyrone, all the good people who have been consistently involved in the chat. You guys make the conversation very fun and enjoyable for us. So big up yourselves. Like I said, please smash a like button. If you're watching on playback, smash a like button as well. Massively helps myself and Joe grow this great community that we have. Subscribe if you're new. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow with something. Hopefully some breaking news. Maybe a Vardiol, maybe a Harry Kane, maybe a Olise, maybe a Hugh. I don't know. Wrap her up, Joe. See you in a bit.
I forgot to end it, but the poll ended on a resounding 64% no for Carrasco. That's what we're leaving on.
Wrap her up, Joe. See you in a bit.
Listen to your heart. Tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart. Tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. If you just believe, 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 Listen to your heart, 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 heart. Listen to your heart, 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 heart. Listen to your heart. Tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart. Tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart.